Now, I have played many games over the years, and I have always wondered to myself, what are Patrick's top 10 games? So this week, we're making it official. Welcome to the Whine Duyne top 10 games of all time. Before we get started, let me make a few things clear. I haven't played every game out there, so my list includes games that I personally have enough experience in to give a fair assessment of. And because it's mainly games that I have played, there may be some bias. But I promise I definitely took that into account. Now, without further ado, let us begin. Starting off the list at number 10 is a Nintendo classic, Super Mario 64. Released back in 1996, Super Mario 64 was one of the first of its kind. Previously, Mario games had mostly existed as 2D platformers, but Mario 64 changed it all. Using his new 3D movement abilities, Mario jumped into various paintings throughout the castle in order to retrieve enough Power Stars to confront Bowser and save Peach. And it was an absolute blast. Every world Mario entered felt distinct and memorable. The fluidity of movement was top-notch for the time, and the level design was impressive. It definitely deserves its spot on the list. Coming in at number 9 is the latest in a series of games that never fails to crush the souls of its player base, and that is none other than Elden Ring. Elden Ring was the next step in the torturous genre-defining Souls series that challenges players' skills to the max. I had only ever dipped my toes into Dark Souls, so Elden Ring was my first full Souls-like experience, and it was a doozy. But with Elden Ring's beautiful open-world dark fantasy vibe, solid gameplay, and intriguing story, this was a Souls game that not even I was gonna pass up. When it comes to military shooters, not even I can deny the dominance of the Call of Duty franchise. But you see, the era of COD truly began with the release of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. This was the game that turned boys into men. Remember those voice chat lobbies? Oh, I do. Oh, I do. With its fast-paced gameplay, iconic maps, and weapon customization, Modern Warfare created the golden formula for military shooters for literally decades to come. After sinking numerous hours into Bethesda's The Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I didn't think that they would be able to top it. However, in 2011, Bethesda dropped us into the harsh northern province of Tamriel, where the dragons rule. We were in Skyrim. After creating my character, I was able to venture out into the amazing fantasy world where I could master the art of magic, or fighting, or stealth, or all of them. I even learned how to yell magical words really loud. Fus Ro Da. Not many games have matched the popularity and longevity that Skyrim had, especially when it comes to the memes.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
That alone earns it a spot on the list. This next game elevated one of the greatest heroes of our time. Donning his classic green attire and with a helpful companion at his side, he was ready to do whatever it took to save the day. That's right, it's Master Chief. Halo 3 was by far the greatest of all the Halo games, and one of the most iconic shooters of all time. Not only did this game have a campaign worth playing over and over again, its multiplayer was unmatched. With the introduction of Forge Mode and custom games, players themselves created some of the most entertaining maps and modes in Halo history. I think I played nearly 1,000 games of Infection on Sandtrap before even touching the standard multiplayer. Halo Reach came close to replicating its magic, but Halo 3 will always be the pinnacle of the series. There are no other fighting games that can quite rival the ultimate 2D brawler king known as Super Smash Bros. I honestly had a really hard time deciding which title I was even going to put on the list. Smash 64 was where it all started. Melee took the gameplay to a whole different level. Brawl gave us the best single-player mode ever. Smash 4 broke ground on 2 different systems at one time. And Smash Ultimate literally had every character in Smash history plus some. But the medal has to go to Super Smash Bros. Melee. While newer titles typically phased out the older ones, Melee has stood the test of time. For more than 20 years after its release, no Smash game has yet been able to rival the sheer technical depth and mechanical prowess that Melee offered. To this day, it is still attracting thousands of players to tournaments every year, and it was probably the saving grace of the Nintendo GameCube. Nice job, Melee. You did it. There aren't many times when an impromptu purchase leads to a very surprising and enjoyable experience. Nier Automata was probably the best random purchase that I have ever made. Thrust into the future where humanity has fled Earth due to an alien invasion of killer robots, you play as the android known as 2B, a katana-wielding baddie wearing what is essentially a maid outfit. But don't let that description fool you. This game has one of the deepest and most well-written stories I have ever seen. The way the game touches upon the ideas of discovering one's humanity, the consequences of death, and the meaning of real sacrifice is truly amazing. There are not many games out there that have left quite an impression once the credits rolled. If you want a game that was years ahead of its time, look no further than Shadow of the Colossus. Originally released on the PlayStation 2 in 2005, this game contains some of the greatest visuals and atmosphere of any game in history. And the soundtrack is straight fire. You play as a young man who travels to a forbidden land seeking to revive a girl who has passed away. You are told by a strange voice that if you defeat these 16 giant beasts, your wish shall be granted. So you embark across this mysterious world to slay its colossal guardians. What made this game so incredible was the combination of breathtaking visuals, an epic soundtrack, unmatched gameplay, and advanced physics, which puts even most games that come out today to shame. The way the developers were able to convey all of these elements at once is truly a testament to their passion. If you have never played this game, now is the time. If you watched my video from last week, you would know that I am a big fan of a little game called Monster Hunter. Yes, the game where you wield ridiculous weapons and armor, slay ferocious beasts, skin them, and then make even cooler ridiculous weapons and armor. Well, no single entry in the series has stolen more of my time on this earth than Monster Hunter World. What makes the Monster Hunter series and world in particular so amazing is that it perfectly blends together the idea of a proper cooperative experience with a rewarding cycle of gameplay. The game has 14 unique weapons, all with distinct playstyles, tons of skills and abilities to enhance your hunter's loadout, and a diverse pool of monsters to fight. This in turn produces some of the best replay value that I've ever seen in a game. The online community is also extremely helpful and positive, which makes hunting all the more enjoyable. In fact, I've made quite a few friends playing online with others. Once you get past the initially confusing and seemingly overwhelming intro to the game, you will not be disappointed. Before I reveal my top pick, make sure you're following the channel. I do videos every week and post news updates on all things nerdy and awesome. Alright, my top pick goes to a timeless classic which revolutionized the gaming industry and makes winning Game of the Year awards look like a sideshow. That game is none other than The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Just kidding, it's actually The Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. While Ocarina is widely considered one of the most influential games of all time, Majora's Mask was the quiet sequel that took all the great parts of Ocarina of Time and dialed them up to 11. Instead of the typical save the princess narrative that Zelda games are known for, we got an anxiety-inducing, thought-provoking, morally ambiguous race against time. Simply put, this game took the revolutionary gameplay of Ocarina, stripped away the safe narrative, and delivered something that no other Zelda game has ever done. The themes, visuals, music, story, character design, gameplay, and overworld mechanics made this game both challenging and intelligent. It wasn't a straightforward experience like the previous titles, and it took risks with Link's character, making his journey one of self-discovery and connecting with the lives of those around him instead of a singular focus on saving Zelda. It also introduced one of the most unique and terrifying villains in gaming, Majora. Though Majora's Mask may live in the shadow of Ocarina of Time, today it gets the spotlight. And that does it. Thanks for watching my first top 10 video games of all time. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below, and what you think are the best top 10 games of all time. And if you have an idea for another top 10 video that you want to see, let me know, and I might do it in the future. Until then, stay cultured.